officially campaign has started today, and then that is when you will see the politicians will be crisscrossing the country, going up and down, trying to sell what they have, and then to see how they will lure people, campaign, and then see how people will give them vote for the offices that they are wearing. Particularly, the presidential today is officially on. We'll put our beam light and then see what is happening in the political terrain, and then we'll give you update as it unfolds. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now, and today I have Lois with me on the set. Lois, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Yes, campaigns have started. The day all politicians have been waiting for, especially the presidential candidates, they are now officially on. They can start, like you said, I picked that word, luring people, the electorates to vote for them. They will be traveling from one state to another all over the country to see how they can lure people to vote for them when it comes 2023, and I keep telling people that this is the time for you to be wise about whoever you listen to. You have to be wise as a Nigerian in this particular period that we're in, for you to listen to what people are going to be telling you, not what they normally have been saying, but we have to look for new things that they would say, and then we'll look at their past records, their antecedents, their vision, somebody that has the people's mind at heart, and the people's interest rather at heart, and then we'll see people that we will go for instead of the normal business that Nigerians always do when periods like this come.
Yeah, I think Nigerians now are wise, and then particularly, the electorate. I see so many content out there, that is advising people that they should vote for credibility, they should vote for capacity, they should vote for truth, they should vote for competence, and then I say, yes, that's the way to go, because for long we haven't seen such awareness, so massive awareness, people taking responsibility, on their own, spending, on platforms that you have to spend to say something, and they are doing it on their own to see that they let the masses know how to go about changing the narrative of this country. And I say kudos to that. We want to see more of that even during this campaign. But one thing for sure is that we have to make sure we avoid inciting people, either religion or region, because it's very important. We should look at the primary issues and sell them or deal with them head on. I think that will help us. And then for us, the electorate, is good for us to really scan this thing, like you said, not just following the usual statement, we'll build boreholes for you, bring water, and the rest, the light that they keep promising. And then this year alone, we have almost 7 times of
some say 7, some say 8, so let's say thereabout 7 or 8 times that the national grid has collapsed this year only in 2022. So it's really a thing of concern, that,
and it's something that we've been hearing since the time of Obasanjo.
Yes,
that even now there are this accusation, during his regime concerning the power sector, the billions, millions of dollars that is been sink, in that sector, which we were thinking that by now we shouldn't be talking about power in this country, but still yet, just look at it in 1 year, 7 or 8 collapse.
Collapse. It's really devastating to, especially small-scale businesses, when you look at them and how they have to go about running their businesses. Look at the issue of the petrol. It's a no-go area for most of those people, except for motorists that will have to fuel their cars so that they will have to move. But then when you go to some of the small shops that you have to use gen and all of that, they will tell you we don't have petrol. That's what they say. So you have to go. And then at the end of the day, you might not even get any income for that day because of the lack of power. So it's really necessary that we don't look at the things that they have always been saying to us. Let's look at competence, like you have mentioned, people that would drive this country and people that will not make fake promises like they've always been making. You know, there are 18 presidential candidates right now for us to choose from. We don't have to base our interest in a few, in some few individuals. We have a lot of them. It doesn't have to necessarily be that we have to go for those people. There are 18 is enough for us to choose from. So I think it's high time.
I thank you for that reminder. You know, most people don't even know that they are up to 18 because the concentration is just on 3.
Yes.
You know, Obi, Atiku, and then Tinubu. But God will help us.
God will help us.
Yeah.
God will
now,
help us.
you know, the National Assembly, they are now talking 2023 budget. So ministries and MDAs now are coming up for defense, you know, to defend their proposal. And then we are seeing so many revelations and then some things that you don't have to hear them. Like you are not supposed to even hear them, you know, even by the corner, not talk of national TV. And they are coming up. Like the issue of the National Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies. I had that revelation. I was shocked, even though, you know, almost every day you wake up with a shocker in this country, and you wonder, are we still in this country intact? Or some people are running the country on our behalf while we just bear the name?
Yes, I really feel so sometimes, you know, when you look at, when some of these revelations come out and then you'll be wondering, like, what is actually happening in the National Assembly? Are there some things, definitely there are things that are happening behind the curtains that most Nigerians are not even aware of. And so that's why when some of these things come to the limelight, you'll be wondering, what is this all about? Like, why is this actually coming up? We have a country that we don't have a specific religion that is supposed to be guiding this country, but every other day you hear things that are a shocker, like you just said, to people. You hear of a budget from the federal government that is coming to a particular sect. You imagine, and that's why we always have agitations in this country when some people are being, or a particular religion is being favored more than the others. We know that we are supposed to be treated, the country stands on equity, fairness, and justice, that every other Nigeria should be able to benefit from everything that is in this country equally. We should all have it equally. But then at the end of the day, you don't see that happening. You see that some people are being given some kind of privileges than some others. When you bear some certain names, they will not even look at you, or your names are being removed from a particular thing that you're supposed to enjoy from. Like naturally, you see that something just happens and you're not being called, and all of that. We see that happening in this country over and over again. And we see that from this board of Islamic and Arabic studies school that you have mentioned, or board. They had 8.5 billion naira from the federal government. That's like, it's part of the budget of Nigeria. So imagine that maybe one of these Christian schools to have 8.5 billion as well. You get, like, I just feel there are some kind of marginalization and some kind of things that is happening in this country that they're not supposed, like, we're not even supposed to be hearing of them, but they keep occurring. And sometimes when people talk, it becomes, it's like you're trying to cause problems, or you're trying to say something that is out of context. But then this is really not acceptable as far as I'm concerned.
The board has a staff strength of 5,963. The board, it's saddled with the responsibility of organizing an examination yearly. And then it collected the budget of 8.5 billion from the federal government. It generates income yearly in focus. 20. Okay, that's the focus. What they are hoping to generate, like 410 million naira. But last year, they generated over 300 million, and they remitted only 30 million naira. So I asked myself, what is the use of the central account? You understand? Because when this government came, they came with the idea of, let's have one account, because they noticed single treasury account. That some ministries and NDAs have multiple accounts that they save money, different kind of they keep different kind of accounts, savings, for the ministry, and then they feel it is not encouraging for the country. That's not the way to go, and they feel every generating agency should send their money straight to that account. And then 1 year now is over.
Like I said, there are just some things that we're not supposed to be hearing of. Like, there are people saddled with responsibilities. And when you look at it, so many people are nonchalant. Like, people that are holding serious positions in this country, they are very nonchalant towards the position they are being given. And then at the end of the day, you see a lot of problems happening. We are talking of a budget that is going to be, we've been running on a deficit budget in this country. And we are looking at a budget that will have to borrow to fund. And we are looking at such establishments that is not even contributing so much to the GDP of this country. When you look at it, a board that generated over 300 and something million is remitting 30 only to the federal government. And then the question is, what is the end result? Like, why this particular board? Like, what is actually the reason behind it? And that's why I'm sure most Nigerians will be asking, like, what is this all about?
Yeah, you see, when we talk about wastage and we talk about deliberate issues to certain things that has to be with national interest, people try to shine away, turn their face to the truth and the reality on ground. Now you are talking wastage. Like you rightly said, what is the essence of that particular board? A national board, for that matter, Arabic and Islamic studies. And you ask yourself, are all Nigerians part of that? If it's no, then why? These are the questions that we Nigerians are asking. Why? Then you have Christians in this country, and then you talk about Christian, you talk about Muslims. And then you look at it now, you see the issue of Muslim ticket now that is coming up. And with this thing coming up on national TV, do you think people will just go and sit down and be quiet? These are some things that are coming out that people are asking questions. Because if you say we are building this country on tripod, equity, justice, and fairness, and that's what Wike has been pushing. That's what Wike has been saying. And now they are seeing him as ingrate. They are seeing him as somebody that doesn't have a national interest. They are seeing him as somebody that is greedy. They are seeing him as somebody that is power drunk. They are calling him all sort of names simply because he's raising questions and saying, do you think other people are just there for you to ride on? Do you think some other people are more intelligent and more smart and more richer than others? Is it because when some people sometimes don't talk about certain things or be quiet for the reason of peace, you think you have a monopoly of riding over? And these are some of the things that, Wike is raising. And then already people are beginning to key into what he's saying. Look at the governor of Ondo. Okay, now the federal government are saying no state will arm any security outfit aside from what the federal government. And then already there's a particular state, and that's the reason why this man is saying, bring it now, merge it, and see what do you think people from that state will say. Automatically you told them. But now, like we said, the election now is campaign now has kicked on today. And then people will start going to that state from the other part of the country to go to that state and tell them to vote for them. And you ask this question, if you say there's a need for that board, okay, what is the place of CAN in the budget of Nigeria? Because they host all the Christian bodies, the genuine ones for that matter. What is their take in the budget? This time around, we are not taking school. If you say you are saying this one, you are budgeting for this particular people because you feel is important, that's what they understand, and you think they should know. They should be carried along in that aspect. CAN is a body that hosts the Christian organizations.
How much?
Different. Yes. How much are they getting for, let's say, some of these missions? They have their own schools. What are they getting as a CAN? Even if it means this is the budget that is coming for the year, for them to share it to those that own schools and say this is a palliative, like a kind of succor that is coming from the federal government simply because you are contributing to the educational sector of this country. And if you check these people, most of them, almost 90%, they went to mission schools. Yes.
Very true.
So what is now the payback? And this is the question that we're asking. And then you talk about wastage of money. You talk about all leakages. There's a law when you don't do the right thing. You're supposed to remit. Now the year is gone. You didn't remit. You only remitted 30 out of almost 300 and something. And then nobody is saying anything. Like, you ask this question, why the Islamic board in the first place in a country like Nigeria?
Like I said earlier, that's why we always have issues of people agitating, because some things are not, like we say we are standing on a tripod, like you mentioned, equity, fairness, and justice. Let everybody be carried along. If you're doing it for this part, let this part should also feel the impact. But if you're doing it one side, like you said, you don't have only Muslims in this country. Is everybody benefiting from this? No. Just a particular set of people are benefiting. And now, when people start talking, like I said, it will become an issue in the country. They would start saying, no hate speech, no this, no this. But we are the cause of all these issues that are coming in the country. We talk about us still on whatever religion that you are into, you can go there and study and get the knowledge, the desired knowledge you wish for. These institutions are locked down for months now. And then we're talking about a board that is meant for a particular set of people. Because when you look at it, even you now, if you say you want to go there, they will not even allow you go. You will not be admitted in that particular school. And at the end of the day, what do you even stand to achieve? You get the whole point. Because, okay, when you go to the to the university, you can have that, like maybe as an elective, or you want to know more about that particular religion or something. But then, looking at the whole thing, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't speak well of this country. It doesn't just say a lot of things. I just wish that some of these things, the National Assembly, when they are trying to do some of these things, they need to think and really think well to see how, because some of these things are what are really dividing Nigeria in religious and ethnic lines. When you look at it deeply, they are some of the factors that are affecting the country. So when we look at things differently, we do things differently. Now we have, like we mentioned earlier, the campaigns have started, and we have over 16 million point something electorates that these people will need to convince right now. So what do you want to go and tell these people? We have the issue of Muslim ticket. When you come to a Christian-dominated area, states now, what do you tell them? How do you tend to convince them that they don't have any representation anywhere? I don't see that we shouldn't build a Nigeria like that. We are looking for a country where everybody will be carried along. Everybody will feel that equity, fairness, and justice that we keep talking about. That's the Nigeria we're looking forward to, and not all this division here and there.
You're right. I think I will blame this to even some of our so-called leaders, that we send them out there to represent us. I just have a feeling that they are just there for their own selfish reasons. Because if not, these are some questions that they are supposed to be raising, even if it will cost them, like, no matter what it will cost them. Because these are sensitive questions that you're supposed to ask as a legislator, being sent to represent your people. And then you ask, what is for your people? Where are the sons that we have? You know? Some are even like they are kind of constitutional lawyers. Those that their training is based on that. They are the best people that can interpret that particular book for you. That's what they are being trained. Constitutional lawyers. That's their own area of specialization. Where are they? If these things are embedded in our constitution, why is it that we are not asking questions? I think this is the right time. That's why last time I told you, I said this is the time for us to visit the national confab. Because we have to check these things. Because we can't grow like this. We can't grow like this. If you talk about national interest, for me, this is not national interest, because you are not carrying everybody along. And that's why some people are agitating to break out, because they feel they are left out. They feel the country does not belong to them. They feel that some people are just riding on them, catching cruise, you know, like benefit themselves. And you ask yourself, what country is this? Are we going to continue like this? Truly, the answer is no. And that's the reason why 2023 we have to change the narrative. We have to bring people that will ask questions and say no to certain things. Because some of these things, you have to ask questions. Okay, what if you give only 30 million? What are the examination?
Once in a year, and you spend that kind of money, and that kind board with over 5,000 staff strength? And you ask yourself, how? Is it that is a strategy to empower certain people that they are working, and then a certain money is going? That's why some people feel the wealth of this country belongs to them. Look at the NNPC, for instance. Look at the oil producing states. Look at the representation. Look at the leadership of NNPC. Still yet, we talk about fuel theft. You understand? Nobody is giving us concrete answer. Because if you check the leadership, almost 90% is the North. I imagine if it's the North that is producing that kind resources for the country. I don't think we will have a country called Nigeria somehow. Somehow, yes. Somehow, a lot is happening, and we need to change our mindsets as Nigerians. Like, your humanity should come first before any other thing. But reverse is the case most of the times. And until we reach that point, I don't think we're ready to grow in this country. Because when you talk about wastage, you will see national funds that are supposed to be used for national interest for the people. One person is going to take it away and use it for personal interest. When you look at all those things, and then you start wondering, look at the people that are hungry. One person can feed a whole community in this country, and then a lot of people are sleeping without food, which is rather unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I think our National Assembly members should wake up, because some of these things, they have to check it, because all of these MPs normally come for defense. I don't even think it's about the National Assembly. Now is the time for us. We're going to elect new leaders. We should look at people that have people's interests at heart, not all of this cock and bull story they say all the time. If you have somebody right now that is not representing you well, you should take him away and put someone else that you feel will do the job.
You can imagine, because honestly, the real issue lies in the National Assembly, because they create this law.
And that's where we don't even put our focus on most of the time. We think about the presidential election. That's where most Nigerians put their
Did you know they are
strength
talking
in.
about zoning? The zoning that is causing us this problem, this mess. Still yet you tell us that it suffered setback. That means they are throwing it out? Yes. That's when the bill for public officers to send their children to public school. Well, that's how it went.
I think we have to continue tomorrow.
It's okay.
Yes, our viewers, thank you for staying with us. And you can keep up with our programs that are coming up. I did this with Solomon Sambosabi, and I remain Lois Tureki. Have a good day.